Joining us now for the interview, about which I'm very excited, is former Democratic Senator from Wisconsin, Russ Feingold. Senator Feingold is today launching Progressives United, a grassroots political action committee. Thank you for being here, sir. Really appreciate it.
Rachel, it's good to be on the show again.
I'm eager to talk to you about Progressives United, but I have to get your reaction first to what we are seeing in Madison today with these dramatic protests.
Well, let me just say how proud I am of the people of Wisconsin for reacting to this outrageous proposal from Governor Walker. You know, Rachel, it's not like the people in Wisconsin are in a foul mood. The Packers just won the Super Bowl. The Badgers just beat the #1 Ohio State basketball team, and it's 50 or 60 degrees warmer than it was last week. It's not like people are just looking for something to be upset about. But when you stick it in the eye of a badger like this and you try to take away the rights of workers throughout the state, they react. And this is a tremendous, inspiring reaction that shows that we are ready to take the fight against those who want to destroy the rights of working people in our state.
The governor's line here is that this is about balancing the budget. Some of what he's proposing, as far as I can tell, has no budget implication whatsoever. It's explicitly about dismantling unions for people who work for the state, dismantling the idea that workers can negotiate. Why is that, and what explains the distance between what he says he wants to do and what he is actually proposing?
Well, the argument that this is really about the budget process is phonier than a $3 bill. There is a budget process in the state. I served for 10 years in the Wisconsin State Senate, and it's a very methodical process that goes on for several months, and they figure it out usually by July, and they have a budget. What he did last week was say, basically on Thursday or Friday, I want to take away all these rights of collective bargaining from people, and I want it done within the next 5 or 6 days. This is just a direct attack driven by corporate interests in the state and this country that they have been fantasizing about forever, which is to bust the unions. And that's what the agenda is. It is really not about the state budget. That's just simply phony.
Is the other political party in this country, is the Democratic Party taking the other side in that fight? Republican politics have become really very homogenous on this issue in a way that they weren't a generation ago. They're all very anti-employee, very pro-business, very, very anti-union. Are Democrats taking the other side of that fight?
In our state, we are. The Democratic Party here and the unions, both public and private, are unified. The folks that are in that Capitol are students, teachers, public employees, but also private employees. Firefighters came, even though, as you pointed out, they're trying to somehow divide and conquer, not only between private and public employees, they're trying to divide people within the public employees. It's not going to work, because we in Wisconsin are going to stand up for those rights that you talked about. You listed things like child labor laws, minimum wage, and other ideas that came through the labor movement. Most of that came from Wisconsin originally. This is a proud tradition. And we're not going to let Governor Walker, acting as a shill basically, for these corporations, destroy the rights of working people.
You've just formed a grassroots political action committee called Progressives United. I know that some of the inspiration for forming this group has to do with corporate power in politics. What's the overall aim, and why try to do it through a PAC? Why is that the right vehicle for you right now?
Well, Progressives United obviously is a play on the fact that Citizens United, the decision that helped destroy our campaign finance laws in our country, was not really something for citizens, it was for corporations. The Citizens United decision of the United States Supreme Court basically turned on the spigot and said, let corporations take whatever money you spend for toothpaste or gasoline and spend it to destroy and control our political process. So Progressives United is actually people all over the state of Wisconsin and all over the country coming together to fight for the rights of individuals in the political process and to not allow corporations to have those exact same rights. So we're going to fight this decision. We're going to try to overturn the decision. We're going to try to support candidates that fight the implications of it, from the oil companies to the financial benefits that have been given to Wall Street. But we're also going to fight the kind of things that Governor Walker's trying to do. These corporations seem to believe that this last election was a ticket for them to go after the rights of working people all over this country, and they're trying to do it in Wisconsin as a model. Our organization will fight all of these efforts, and it is going to be a grassroots organization. ProgressivesUnited.org is already getting apparently 10,000 new signups today alone on our first day. There is a hunger out there, Rachel, for opposition to what's going on, and we want to help be part of that effort.
When you look at the effect of Citizens United, one of the ways that people shorthand the impact of that decision is by saying it undid the McCain-Feingold, much of the McCain-Feingold financing, campaign finance reform. Clearly, it's law that is a dramatic reversal from what had previously been law of the land. But do you think that it structurally changes American politics in a way that is irreversible and that will have a dramatic effect on politics if it's not overturned? How do you see it changing the way we do politics in this country?
That's right. It is irreversible, and it's really ironic. The one thing that still stands is McCain-Feingold, the ban on soft money, in other words, of corporations and others giving huge contributions directly to political parties. That law stands. What the Supreme Court did was something far more devastating. It took away the fundamental laws, going back to the Tillman Act from 1907 that banned certain corporate activities in politics, all the way through the decisions for almost 100 years. It gutted the laws that were the foundation for making sure that corporate treasuries could not be used to dominate our political process. So, you know, that was something that was done to counter the effects of what was going on in what was known as the Gilded Age. This decision creates a Gilded Age on steroids, and it is fundamentally changing our political process. We have to reverse the decision. We only need one vote in the Supreme Court to change, to make that happen, and that's one of the things we hope happens in the next few years.
Mr. Feingold, let me just ask you one last question about Progressives United. If people join the group, what should they expect? Is this a membership organization? Is this a meet up, move on style, get out and meet your fellow progressives and get out there and demonstrate organization? What exactly are you going to use in terms of tactics?
All of the above. Obviously, we're going to try to support candidates directly that are committed to these progressive principles. We're going to try to urge people that are in office right now to do things like support the Disclose Act to try to make sure that this information about these contributions come out. But we're going to do far more than that. We're going to make sure we use the internet and all the mechanisms that are available now that didn't used to be available to make sure that people organize, sign petitions, do whatever people have been doing on other issues, but do it in a coordinated way with many other groups that are interested in this issue. We're already talking with them. We need to be unified regardless of your political views, regardless of your particular issue that you're most interested in. This issue, the issue of corporate domination of politics, is one that overrides everything, and we need to come together. Our organization is going to help make that happen.
Russ Feingold, thank you so much for joining us for the interview tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll come back and join us again.
I will. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Thank you. All right, there is some dramatic news that is breaking at this hour, which is an unlikely hour if you consider the time change. But it's breaking this hour in the Middle East. After Tunisia went, after Egypt went, we're getting in some dramatic scenes that are just happening right now. And these scenes, this footage that we're getting and the descriptions that we are getting out of one particular country in the Middle East is giving us an idea of what country might be next after Tunisia and Egypt. Details on that are next. Stay tuned.